Hello there, welcome to a brand new Doctor Who video. So in this video I'm going to be doing a ranking video of the Doctor's regeneration episodes or slash stories. Now this is personally focusing more on the Doctor's side, so I won't be talking about the River's regenerations or the Master's regenerations. This is focusing on the Doctor, so I'm going to put this on pause, add my new titles, add the title sequence, and let's get straight into it. Hello, welcome to a brand new video. In this video it is on the ranking the Doctor's regeneration stories. Now, as I say, this is my opinion and my opinion alone. It doesn't mean I don't like these episodes, it just means in a way I just like some of the episodes less than some other people. I mean, my last one most probably get a lot of hate by people, specifically a very lot of hate. And it is no other than the final episode of the 10th Doctor. Now this one is a two-parter and it's to the end of time. Yes, you've got it right. My absolutely worst regeneration story for the end of time of Doctor Who is the end of time. Why? Because one, they bring back the Master kind of like this really kind of metic moron who can fire energy beams through him. The whole plot of the episode is a really part one starts off with it so brilliantly with the Master coming back and the Master turning the human race into the Master race, and then episode 2 it just drops so much because after turning the Master into the human race into the Master race, by using the link that inside the Master's head, the drumming, the Time Lords come back so they can try and survive the Time War. And how does it end off? Yeah, basically the Doctor has a little paddy because he's got to save Donna's granddad Wilford because he's locked himself into the radiation machine, and the 10th Doctor has a paddy. So, and then his last line, "I don't want to go." The regeneration effect is a good effect. I do love the whole blast of regeneration. The TARDIS blows up, but for the whole story wise, the end of time is my worst. So second worst, wow. So the next one I've put very low in the list is the time of the Iranians. So why is this, even though I rank it a 10 out of 10 for the actual story? Because why is this second worst, you're going to say, and how I do it? Wow, just because it is a really bad story. I mean, it's not as bad as most people give it. I do kind of enjoy it, but in retrospect for the Doctor's regeneration, it's just Sylvester McCoy in a wig. The TARDIS is being pulled down to the planet Lacertia. The 6th Doctor has basically banged his head on the TARDIS console, which triggers the regeneration. So basically this is just it is a McCoy story, but the regeneration of it is just bad because Colin Baker doesn't really have any last lines apart from carrot juice. Yeah. Sorry, but I have to say it by heart. I actually think the time in Irani is a 4 out of 10 for regeneration stories. So, coming up to another story. Now, this one I do find a 10 out of 10 because it's a really good multi-Doctor story. But because it does have a regeneration episode in it, it is Day of the Doctor. Now, you're probably scratching your head saying, why is this classed as a regeneration story as well as being one of the best multi-Doctor stories? Well, let me tell you why. Because towards the end of it, you just have John Hurt basically going into the toe saying, of course now, wearing a bit thin. I do hope the ears are a bit suspect this time. So after this, I do class as a little bit of a regeneration kind of story because of John Hurt regenerating into Eccleston. You don't really see much of Eccleston because Eccleston refused to come back, but just for the regeneration effect, it is an okay stuff. I do love the whole regeneration effect. Now, this I'm going by regeneration effects. I mean, the story-wise for the end of time, I have to say, is a 1 out of 10, but for the regeneration effect, it is a 10 out of 10 because it's the very first time you see the TARDIS explode, and that's what I love about it. So, right then, next one. For regeneration effects, I have to say this one, this is my personal opinion of how I rank them. I mean, End of Time, I most probably do rank it for a 10 out of 10, but it's my least favourite regeneration story. Time and Arani is 4 out of 10, but I think I would give it a 10 out of 10 for its own story, but without the regeneration thing for it to go into this, I have to say it's that. So the next one is basically the TV movie with Paul McGann as the 8th Doctor. Yes, that's right. It is the TV movie. So you'll wonder why I put the DVD and I got the Blu-ray there, because for some reason the Blu-ray has got a very much more of a regeneration impact than the actual movie has, and I'll explain why that is. The movie, although I do actually like it, and I will have to give this a 7 out of 10. It just feels like the regeneration is a bit rushed, really, because you start off with the 7th Doctor landing on Earth, getting shot by some gangs, going to a hospital where the hospital kills him, and he'll destroy the regeneration process, and he regenerates into the 8th Doctor. So the 8th Doctor's got then to deal with the Master and the people that tried to kill him, such as Grace, who becomes basically his companion. Yeah. The regeneration effect is a 7 out of 10. The story is a 7 out of 10 as well. I just really think it's not as big as some of the other regeneration stories we have, even though the Doctor regenerates halfway through it. The next one is basically the Stolen Earth. Yes, that's right, Stolen Earth. Why is this so low on the list? Wow, how can I tell you about this? Stolen Earth starts off so brilliantly, even though it's my second favourite season finale of Doctor Who. But there is a big but in this. When the 10th Doctor gets shot by a Dalek, you see him regenerate at the end and puts the hand into the spare his regeneration energy into the spare hand, which makes a human Doctor. So even though this shouldn't really be classed as a proper regeneration story, Stephen Moffat's turned around and told us to shut the hell up. It is a regeneration story. Get over it. So this one I rank as a 10. Basically, it's a 6 out of 10 because the regeneration effect is good, but it was very unexpected and it really shouldn't be classed as a major regeneration. But Stephen Moffat went, shut the hell up. It is a class of regeneration, so get over it. So the next one is the 10th planet. So why is the 10th planet so near the bottom? Because although it's the very first regeneration story, we had no idea it was coming. So after the first Doctor basically stumbles off to his TARDIS to regenerate, after defeating the Cybermen, he literally just collapses to the TARDIS floor and regenerates. For the regeneration effect, I have to give it a 5 out of 10. But for the story, again, a 5 out of 10 really. I do like it. I like how it's leads into the very first regeneration story, but not as much as some of the other stuff. So next up, it is no other than Night of the Doctor. Yes, that's right, Night of the Doctor. The Paul McGann regenerating into John Hurt's War Doctor. So Basically, I've got the movie on Blu-ray here because in the Blu-ray version, they've actually added Night of the Doctor on the disc, where this one has just got the movie because it came out 2 years before the Night of the Doctor did. So Night of the Doctor is really, really good. I love how they bring Big Finish into canon-wise with the 8th Doctor mentioning his companions, which means all of his adventures do become canon, which makes Big Finish canon. So this one is a 10 out of 10. So now we're getting to the ones I do like. Next up it is Logopolis, and Logopolis has fallen. So Logopolis, what can I tell you about Logopolis? It's a very, very good kind of dramatic story for Tom to end in. I mean, it's very, very depressing, like emotional. You got the 4th Doctor like moping a little bit, saying he's got to prepare for the end. He's got to defeat the Master. Again, the Master is just a cause of another regeneration. Bringing this one up to 2, really, stories with the Master is the cause of the Doctor's death. Well, 3 actually, the TV movie, because the Doctor's got to take his mates together. The Master escapes and makes the Doctor get shot by landing the TARDIS there in the first place. The End of Time, where the Doctor's got to save Wilfred from the Master's ploy, where the Master turned the human race into... Well, the Master turned the human race into the Master race. Logopolis is, again, the Master's one. After saving the universe from the Master, the 4th Doctor has to regenerate because he's coupled with the Master came to an unexpected for him, so he had to regenerate. So, Parting of the Ways is next. I just love Parting of the Ways, literally. It's a really, really good Dalek story, and I believe this one is the only time we see a Dalek. Well, it's the very first time in the show history we see a Dalek being cause of the Doctor's regeneration. Because, yeah, okay, the 9th Doctor's got a battle against the Dalek Emperor, save Rose from the time vortex running through her head. So basically it's the regenerate, it's the time vortex that kills the 9th Doctor, making him regenerate. But again, it's still in a Dalek story, so quite enjoyable. I do love it. Now we're getting into the top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, my top 5 now. Fantastic. So it means I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 stories. And there's 5 to go. So what is in 5th place? You are wondering. So in 5th place, it is no other than the War Games. Patrick Troughton's finale as the 2nd Doctor. And it is brilliant. The introduction to the Time Lords, where how fierce the Time Lords can be when they've literally put the Warlords inside a kind of prison gauge around the planet, so making them like prisoners. And of course, the 2nd Doctor being forced to regenerate by the Time Lords, put on trial and exiled to Earth. It's just such a fantastic ending for the 2nd Doctor. So this one is a 10 out of 10. So the next one in 4th place, I have to say this one is in 4th place just because it is, and it is Twice Upon a Time. That is right, Twice Upon a Time. Why is Twice Upon a Time in 4th place? You're most probably there wondering. So, how can I say this? It is just so brilliantly done, so wow. I mean, you got the 12th Doctor being so wounded and dying from the battle with Missy, the Master, and the 3 versions of Simon from the previous story in the Doctor Falls. He has to go and meet up with his past self and get caught up in events that ruined nearly destroying the whole timeline, where the 12th Doctor basically collapses outside his TARDIS back to regenerate, and then he stopped, put his hands in. So in this one, the 1st Doctor is refusing to regenerate at the same point as the 12th. So when the 12th Doctor and the 1st Doctor kind of get along, the chemistry between the two of them start off like being a bit funny and weird. But when the 1st Doctor like goes into his TARDIS to regenerate into the 2nd Doctor, because it does lead into... So basically what happens in this is basically from the events for in the 1st Doctor's timeline. It leads in from the events of the 10th planet into this, and then back into the 10th planet to do the regeneration with Ben and Polly. Where for the 12th Doctor, it's literally battle after the Cybermen, battle after the Masters. After all that in the Doctor Falls, he goes off into this, and then him refusing to not regenerate and wants to die it's down to, after meeting his 12th self, Bill somehow turns up there in the glass form, Nardole and Clara, to convince the Doctor he's got to carry on and regenerate. So, of course, I love the whole regeneration effect, the whole speech of the 12th Doctor, where he goes, "Be kind." Where it's literally down at the title, he goes, "Oh, that's it. The boring old universe. The more I save it, the more it needs saving. Yes, it's a treadmill, isn't it?" He goes, "Yes. They get it all wrong without me. Well, I suppose a few more lifetimes wouldn't kill anyone, well, except me." And the way he does that so well, and you literally have that whole kind of dramatic, and he goes, "Doctor, I let you go." And the whole regeneration effect, which is like, and again, after the 13th Doctor comes along, aka Jodie Whittaker, presses the button, the TARDIS just blows up and flings it out into, basically, into Sheffield. It's a really, really good kind of regeneration effect. This whole plot is a 10 out of 10. I just absolutely love it. So, third place, it is no other than Planet of the Spiders. Yes, Planet of the Spiders is my third favourite story. Now, again, the Planet of the Spiders isn't as much loved by fans, but I absolutely love it. Set on the planet Earth, when Jo Grant sends the Doctor back the Methabilis crystal he got in the previous season, that he gave Jo as a wedding present, she sends it back to the Doctor, and it causes off a massive problem, because with some humans going, "Hummerly Tommy Hood, Hummerly Tommy Hood," a big giant spider just appears on the mat and jumps onto Litton's back. And then it uses Litton to get the crystal, go to Metabolus 3. After the crystal gets stolen by Tommy, who then gives it to, basically, Chim, the other Time Lord, the Doctor's mentor. I just absolutely love it, because then Sarah Jane steps on the mat to try and stop Litton, and then she ends up on Metabolus 3. The third Doctor has to run straight back into the unit lab, away from the actual, well, he had to basically drive there quick as he can to get to the TARDIS, and then make the TARDIS materialise on Metabolus 3. I just love how he has to battle against the giant spider and then go back to Earth to get the crystal, give the crystal to the giant spider, and gets radiation poisoning for the first time. It is just such a brilliant story. And then you got that whole bit with the TARDIS materialise. He goes, "I'm sorry I'm late. I got lost in the time vortex. The TARDIS brought me home." And then he just regenerates, going, "A tear, Sarah Jane?" And he collapses and like dies, and then the little Time Lord person kind of materializes and literally puts his hand saying, "Good luck and look after him." And he goes, "No, wait a minute." And then the third Doctor regenerates into the fourth Doctor. I just absolutely love the stories, and this one is basically it's another 10 out of 10. I just absolutely love it. My second favourite episode of Doctor Who for the Doctor's regeneration, it is no other than The Time of the Doctor. Now, with Chris Chibnall kind of ruining this by making the Doctor with the whole plot of the timeless child. Yeah, this one is a bit retrospect, because in this the Time Lords give the 11th Doctor an extra regeneration cycle. It's just done so brilliantly well done. I just love the Time of the Doctor. So you start off with the mystery core, the Doctor with handles, going onto a Dalek ship with a broken bit of a Dalek, hits handles, and then it bounces back into the Doctor's head, and it goes, "Handles, when I said teleport me to a Dalek onto a ship, I said don't teleport you to a Dalek ship. When I'm holding it, a broken bit of Dalek." And then he goes to a side of his ship, and he literally opens the door, and he goes, "Don't worry, come here." He's there holding the handles of his head, and he's like, no, and he's shooting him. I love how basically the Doctor goes to Trenzalore, finds that the planet is Trenzalore, and he finds that the Time Lords are crawling through the cracking universe that was created in Series 5 by Madan Kaveri, who tried to destroy the TARDIS, so it stopped the Doctor from getting to Trenzalore in the first place and creating the whole events of Series 5, with the Pandorica. It's a really, 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 really kind of fantastic way to conclude the 11th Doctor's era, where after the events of Series 5, 6, and of course Series 7. I just really love this story. It's a 10 out of 10. The Time of the Doctor is literally a good regeneration story. I just absolutely love it. And again, for ranking wise, this one is a 10 out of 10. So, my all-time favourite regeneration story. That's right, what is my all-time favourite regeneration? Wow, there's only one left, isn't there? And it is The Caves of Androzani. I just love the Caves of Androzani. It is a really fantastic regeneration sort of episode. I mean, it's not even supposed to be a regeneration story that you don't think of. It starts off like no regeneration story is actually have. So you have the Doctor taking Perry to Androzani Minor, where he comes into a drug war for the drug, the spectroxtoxemia. And with the Doctor getting him and Perry caught up in the events and they get separated and Perry becomes really ill, the Fifth Doctor comes very, very demanding to save Perry's life. And the only cure for spectroxtoxemia poisoning is bat's milk. So the Doctor to go to the bat right underneath the planet core, gets bat milk, give it to Perry, and he sacrifices his own life to save Perry. I just love it. And the whole regeneration where he goes, I might regenerate. I don't know. It feels different this time. Tell me about the joys you told me, Doctor. Braveheart. And then you got Colleen Baker goes, Doctor, you're expecting someone else? That's 3 eyes and 1 breath. Evil to stick with you, young lady. What happened? Change, my dear. And it seems not a moment too soon. And that cliffhanger. So that is how I rank all of these episodes of the Doctor's regeneration. So first place, Caves of Androzani. Second place is literally Time of the Doctor. Third place, Planet of the Spiders. Fourth place, The War Games. The fifth place, Parting of the Way. Sixth place, Legopolis. Seventh place is The Night of the Doctor. Eighth place, Time of the Doctor. The ninth place, basically it's just Stolen Earth and Journey's End. 10th place is the TV movie. 11th place, Day of the Doctor. 12th place is the Time of Irani. And of course, my last favourite place in 13th is basically The End of Time. So let me know in the comments how do you rank all of the Doctor's regeneration stories from the 10th planet down to Twice Upon a Time? Let me know in the comments. Please do like, subscribe and share to my channel, and I hope you all have a fantastic day. Thank you for watching, and there will be a review coming on later on today because I'm going to be reviewing Time of the Doctor. So with a little bit of retrospect I've said about the regeneration stories and how I rank them. For the actual kind of whys is I've had to put this down. So The End of Time is a 1 out of 10 because I just don't like this story. Time of Irani is a 4 out of 10. The Day of the Doctor is a 10 out of 10 because the whole story with the multi-Doctor stuff is really good and the regeneration effect is just good. The movie is a 7 out of 10. Stolen Earth / Journey is a 6 out of 10 because he doesn't basically regenerate. He just literally puts his regeneration into his hand, which classes as regeneration because Stephen Moffat told us to shut the hell up for that one. The 10th Planet is a 5 out of 10. The Night of the Doctor is 10 out of 10. Legopolis is 10 out of 10. Everything else is just a 10 out of 10. I just absolutely love it. So thank you for watching this video. Please do like, subscribe and share to my channel and have a fantastic day. Thank you for watching.